And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show
I
5
want a
days
trap
a week,
remix
but they don't
of
get to
this.
say everything that's on their mind, so they have
feel like
an
your
extra
son might be able to
one.
help.
That's how we get the podcast. The podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast. The podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Na, 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 na.
destroy.
That's my favorite gold this week.
What's that from?
This guy, we were talking about, what's his name? Ducky?
Oh, yeah.
From
yeah.
NCIS,
Yeah, right.
how
That's
he
it,
wrote
that's
that song
Yeah.
that, became the most famous Dre beat ever. And yeah.
Is that
Sing
caller
along.
just called us?
Yeah, his callers just sing
Also,
along.
I can imagine this sounds really bizarre when I have to ask questions about things that we did.
Well, I mean, dude,
I'm sorry, but I don't know.
it's a weird thing. Like people come up to us all the time and like, oh my gosh, the other day when you said the blah, 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 blah. And it's a very specific memory for them.
Yeah.
And yet, because it's just a random conversation that we had, it completely goes over our heads. It's so bizarre. So if you ever walk up to us at an event or something like that and you're like, hey, Big D and Bubba, remember when you said the blah, blah, blah? The answer is probably going to be no, but we'll just look at you and we'll shake our heads like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Feel free to give us as much detail as possible.
yeah,
if you do
because
want to talk about
the more
that.
detail you give us, the more we'll probably remember that one thing.
I've had people come up to me and quote me on a hilarious bit that we did, and it wasn't us.
Oh, well.
That's the worst.
I love that. No,
I
that's
go,
the best.
that's really great. And yeah, that was us, but it was not.
I like that they gave us credit for something else. By the way, we're 464 episodes into this podcast now.
One more, and
Wow.
we're done. Hey, we landed on the moon last night. Who knew that? Anyone show of hands? No one. Of course, no one knew it. That's right. I have, over the last several years, been slowly cracking.
With which part? Like the fact that people don't care about stuff anymore?
Or are you going to think that the moon landing was fake?
Got into a
Oh.
very heated argument.
If
Very
you're-
heated argument with Joe Rogan one time over
Yeah,
this.
I forget which episode of the podcast it was. But Joe, it was funny because he was arguing that it never happened.
Because-
and Big
but-
D was all like, it happened. Well, the funny thing is very shortly after Joe flipped his script, he's like, no, we...
Yeah, Joe's come around the other
Yes.
direction now.
Yeah. And now I'm gone the other
So
way.
have you two basically just passed each other on this
Yeah,
topic?
like he
now?
brings up the Van Allen's belt, and I was just like, he goes, you don't even know what that is. I'm like, boy, you didn't know what it was until someone else told you. I said, no one knows anything until someone tells you. Okay, so that's the way it
And
works.
then you
so don't
only
act
know
like you
it's-
know because you read a book, because you don't know. You just read a book.
Yeah, but I was going to say, then you only know what you were told to know.
Right.
And we don't
And
know what the
is
real
that right?
truth
I don't know.
is.
So it's just weird to me. And I was kind of like, yeah, we probably did. We probably did. And we all watched
I
the.
thought you and Joe Rogan were going to fight.
The-
I
we-
was like,
Oh, I
oh
would've
yeah.
lived for
it
that.
It was a little heated. It was just a little
Oh,
heated.
it's
There
when
was
he went-
shouting going on.
It's when he started baaing like a sheep, and I was like, man,
Wait a
almost
minute.
choked.
Wait a minute.
I
I'm about
almost-
to go to prison.
I almost choked.
He was going, he was doing that?
Oh yeah, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
calling Big D a
He goes,
sheep.
oh, so you just believe whatever's told you, just like just like a sheep, you just do whatever, and
Big
doing
D
in that
was-
Joe Rogan-y kind of, you know
And
how he
D
gets.
was getting
Dude,
getting
I'm trying
fired
to be.
up.
First off, he's a guest, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to be polite, And then I was like, okay, listen. That's when I was like, listen, you don't know anything. All you know is what you were told. Bah. So who's the sheep? You. So we all are. But last night, we landed on the moon. A private company landed on the moon. Did y'all see the video? No, you didn't, because they didn't put it out. Isn't that
Think-
Well, no,
weird?
they say they don't have it back yet.
Okay, but we got it back instantly in 1970.
69.
Well, we were on the but in 1972, in March 9th, we landed a like what they did, and they got it instantly.
Did you guys know that new episodes of
lunar.
Love of Blind dropped this week?
Love blah,
That is
blah,
blind.
I love blah, blah.
Look,
Better.
man.
It's just Carson
Sounds like it's
just
love is mute.
hard steering left from that topic.
No, but it's really interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
you go back to the original moon landing.
Let's
You
go.
got the video
Oh, man.
of Buzz Aldrin stepping out.
Yeah, how do you get that
Neil
video?
Armstrong stepping out. How did they get that video? And they say, oh, because they had a little arm.
Oh,
did they?
Did they?
Did they?
You mean I didn't have
I
a
don't know.
selfie
That's what
stick?
they told us.
I didn't have a selfie
Yes.
stick until a couple of years ago.
Right. They
and
told
that's
us.
what they told us. And so we just go, bah.
Well, who told you it didn't happen? You're
Nah.
believing what somebody else told you.
I know.
Sheepy.
And it is weird.
But-
And they were like, hey, let's go back. And they're like, we can't go back, man. We lost the recipe.
It's been 50 years.
What do you mean y'all don't know how to? You don't? Yeah, we lost all the plans and the designs for that.
And all
For the
the
moon
people
landing,
who-
for
and
the
all the
greatest thing
people who
ever happened
knew.
in mankind's history. Are you kidding me?
What doesn't make
Yeah,
sense
actually, I do.
What
I believe
doesn't
that 100%.
makes sense to me is that how we talk about going to Mars and terraforming and all that stuff, and how it's almost like an inevitability in the not too distant future, but yet we can't get to the moon, which is closer. So that's why.
Dude, we should have started
weird.
terraforming a long time ago.
It's
it takes a
weird.
while to change a planet.
I'm just,
Yeah,
listen,
well, we
I
got to
can
get
be-
there first.
I can be
but
talked
yes.
into. I can listen, and I'm not saying I completely agree that we didn't go to the moon.
I think we
I'm
did.
close.
I think we did. I want to
I do
believe
too. I want
in my
to.
heart and in my soul and in my deepest resources of my body. Yes, we went to the moon. But there's always that part that you kind of doubt it. So yeah.
I just Joe doing that was just highly inappropriate. How many years ago was that interview?
Oh, it's been a while. It's one of
Before
our
he
earlier-
became Joe Rogan.
It was right when he was starting to pop.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he had gotten the Spotify deal yet or not.
Oh, it was way before the Spotify
Yeah,
deal.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's unfortunate.
Anyway, yeah, it's weird. Carson, what are you doing right now?
Oh, I'm making friendship bracelets. Yay.
So-
I'm doing stuff that's here on Earth that will impact my lifetime and my tax bracket.
You're basically doing the same thing that we have done for hundreds of thousands of years as humans.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
recipe
am
is still
making
there.
wearable art. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm putting it together. I ordered the beads and
You're a total Swiftie.
yeah, I think so. I think I could make it work. I'm like, can I sell these? I mean, do people buy those? Or I mean, I'm sure part of it with the Swifties is like the fun of making it, but y'all, this is some tedious stuff right up in
Is
here.
it fun to make it?
I can see where it's relaxing, but I feel like because I'm under a deadline, like I have to get these done by next week, that it is not as much fun as like, oh my gosh, I'm going to
So-
the Eras tour and I'm so excited.
What if you didn't do it?
I would hate to not be a participant. So this was my
you have to
idea.
explain. You have to explain the whole thing
Yeah,
of why
we're-
you're doing it and what you're doing.
We have
it
a
for.
radio conference coming up, and I have to do this breakfast thing. And they asked all of us that are it's mentors, and so we all get our own tables. And they asked us to decorate our tables and maybe provide something to give away to entice people to come sit with us. And yes, I could absolutely sit there at a blank table, but that's not very welcoming. And it also makes me look. Here's the problem. Here's what I'm afraid it'll look like. People, I'm already accused of being like that girl in the corner who's judging everybody because I have a constant resting witch face. And
Is that what it's called?
That's
know
not
that.
exactly
It's
what
a-
I'm
it's a-
called,
it's a
but
variation.
but yeah. So instead of me being like, oh, I'm so over this, because honestly, I do think it's kind of lame that I have to spend my money and provide things for your breakfast. But also, it would reflect badly, I think, on all of us. If they were like, oh, that girl with Big D and Bubba was mean. And so I'm trying to be a joiner. It's fine.
A unifier.
It's fine.
All right. So, is there any kind of rhyme or reason to how you're making these friendship bracelets? Because I see
no.
like you're going very, very much in a pattern. Like you've got the
yeah,
black and whites.
oh
and
my
the
gosh. Like
golds.
can you guys, when you turn the volume up and down on your television, does it have to be even numbers for you too, or is that just me? It can
It's
be a
just you.
5. It can either be a 0 or a 5. Like, I mean, obviously 0 is not a number, whatever. But like 5 is the only odd number I'll allow. Otherwise, it needs to be a 12, a 14, a 16.
For real.
Yeah, I can't have an odd number in my volume.
Schaefer, Garrett, either one of you guys?
Nobody else does
I
it?
don't have that issue.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
either.
It's no.
Oh,
it's
I
not
like
a thing.
order in my chaos.
That's
Yeah.
a
So
little-
yeah,
that's
actually,
a
my
little
friend
weird.
Tracy does the same thing. She won't do odd numbers in her volume either. So yeah,
Big D's
Interesting.
over here checking them out.
Yeah.
That's nice.
checking out my friendship bracelet.
Friendships.
Had to step out a second there, y'all. Had to go talk to a guy. Had to go talk to a guy who told us that congratulations, boys and girl. We're the #1 morning show in all of Nashville.
What?
Oh,
All formats.
What?
Wow, that's so exciting.
Dude, that's a look at Schaefer making a victory lap.
Yeah, all formats. Not just we were #1 country for a while, but to beat to beat. That's the most excited I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. Da 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 da. That's yeah. I will make friendship bracelets to commemorate.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
that
our-
is really, really,
That's very exciting.
really
That's
awesome.
very nice of him to.
That was our bud, Mr. Charlie Cook,
Hey, Charlie!
Makes us feel like royalty around here.
and he just wanted to say congratulations.
Charlie believed in us,
Yep,
though.
Charlie
He took a
Yep.
big chance.
He did.
So we were on in
told him
Nashville
that.
back in the day, and then we were unceremoniously treated like poop, and yeah, so we were off.
We
And-
took our ball and left.
Yeah, so we left, and that's when we started our own company and all that kind of stuff. And we really it forced us to step out on our own. Well, we thought we would never get back on the radio in Nashville again because everybody was a big company. Everybody had their own people that they wanted to play. You know, people like to promote from within and do their thing. It's their idea.
Yep.
And Charlie was a big believer. And a big shout out to our friend Lon too for know. Also having our back.
And
But-
Allison for making the
and
final.
Allison
Yeah.
and everybody. Yeah. So, but they could have easily said no. They could have easily said no. We won't even have this meeting.
Yep.
And they did, and they believed, and that's crazy. How awesome is that?
That is so exciting.
It took us 2 years.
Okay, but
Well, we told him it would take at
Yeah.
least 2 years.
That's what I said. I said
That's
it would take
okay.
2 years. I told him everything you just said. I said thank you for believing in us, and Charlie's he's retiring now, or whatever he's going to do, but he's leaving in the next couple of months or whatever. But I told him, I said, listen, man, you didn't. I said basically everything you said, and
Yeah, he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to take a chance. He didn't have to believe. And I love that. I love that
And
somebody has the gumption to go against the grain sometimes. Sometimes swimming with the current, it will get you somewhere. Sometimes you swim against it, and it gets you somewhere else that's sometimes cooler.
usually the case for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thoreau, what is he?
Henry David Thoreau.
David.
Wasn't that his name?
Henry David Thoreau.
David Thoreau. And he's the one that said that basically. Take the path less traveled.
Oh, is that him?
Of all the paths I've taken,
was
the
it
less
him or
traveled was the
Frost?
Well, I
best.
thought that was
I think it's
Frost.
Robert Frost, yeah.
Look
It
at
was a
us.
good try,
Look at
though.
this show.
He threw out Thoreau.
This is the number one show in Nashville.
Hey, we're doing that on a podcast. People can comment
It's the
on it.
number one show all over the place, though. That's what's really cool is we've got so many other program
That is-
directors and
that
general
is-
managers and operations people and sales people that all believed in us at different stages. I mean, you go back to Flynn and Gordy and those guys. I mean,
Baton Rouge.
that was a crazy situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we started our career as a show. We left, and then they brought us back.
Yep.
And it could have been contentious. It could have been weird. Just some of the greatest, coolest people we've ever worked with.
Oh yeah.
I love seeing things come back around.
Yeah. And also, I don't know. I want to say that we're good people, and I think that makes a difference. It's also good to see something good happen to good people.
Dude, I'm going to tell you straight up. I don't know if we had this discussion, but last week, and this is outside of country music, that the band Disturbed was in town. And so I know some people with them, and they were like, oh, hey, come out to dinner with us stuff. And there's some radio people there who have been in rock radio their whole lives. And when they're like, so what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm with Big D and Bubba. And like, they all know who you are.
In rock?
Yeah,
wow.
because of what you built. That they tell the story of like the guys who took lemons and made, I mean, not even lemonade. Y'all like opened the stand and start like y'all are in grocery stores now. Like you did and so yeah, they were like, oh, then what do they all start asking me? They're like, so like, how do they do that? And whatever. I'm like, I don't
Everybody
know,
wants to
man.
stand now.
It is. I'm like, I just showed up. I got real lucky. So
You know, we learned before we created our own company, we're going to go with another company that had started their own, and that was with Kid Craddock.
Yeah.
And Kid, we flew. I never. We didn't tell the people we were at iHeart at the time.
But back in the day, we did 2 shows a day. We did the morning show, and then we came back and did a local afternoon show. So we had a little window in the middle of the day. You remember that?
God, I'm getting.
Oh, is that what you
PTSD.
flew out in the middle of the day?
We flew out in the middle of the day.
Took
to have
my
the
plane,
initial-
flew
yeah.
to Dallas, and then flew back.
No way. I
Turned
didn't
it
know
around.
that.
Turned it around, and nobody knew.
Yeah.
We never missed a
Wow.
second of work.
We had just landed.
Wow.
I still had marks on my face from the
Oh my
headphones. I think.
gosh.
Yeah, that's how the
so we met
initial
with him.
meeting went.
Yeah, well,
That's amazing.
Yeah, we were wheels down and got there, and we're like, we gotta hurry, man. I'm looking at like all the times, and you got to file and flight pat times and wins aloft and all that. And we met with Kid at his house, and him and
George.
yeah, and yeah, we were going to go work with Kid,
Yeah, we were gonna
be his country. We were going to
merge
be
into,
his
like-
country
Yeah.
version because he had all this CHR stuff.
He had
with him.
himself. He had Bert at the time. And then it would have been cool, like, to bring us in and this whole thing. And but the thing was, like, and that was the big hang up. Remember, the very first conversation was, and I still remember Big D saying this. He goes, "Well, that's a great thing and all that," because he wanted to hire us. He goes, "That's awesome and everything, but we'll work with you, but we will not work for you."
Yeah.
And there was a weird, awkward pause. And Kid goes, "I respect that." And he goes, "Yeah, let's go ahead and form a partnership."
Yeah,
And it was not ever going to be anything kind of,
Yeah.
you work for me kind of thing. And
God, I'll never forget. We did all that. I mean, it was the pound, and that's Bubba's timing's great. And I was like, "This we're gonna do." And I was at the cabin on a Sunday in the summer, taking a vacation. We're at the Kathy's family has a cabin on the lake, and so I was there, and we don't get self-service on all parts of the island or the property. So as soon as I got to the main house, like all of a sudden my phone starts going blink, blink, clink, 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 and it's when I got all the messages that Kid had died.
that was the worst.
And it was like
I still remember-
I felt that. I can,
Patrick
like
called
I'm
me.
sitting there. Yes,
He called me. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing. Why?" I was like hanging out with the kids or something. I'm like, "Nothing. Why?" He goes, "Can you sit down?" I'm like,
Oh.
"What?" And he goes, "Sit down." And I sat and he said, "Kid died today." And like all of our plans
Yeah.
were hinging upon this partnership between us and him. And I still remember my heart sank and I was like,
Now what?
holy crud. But then immediately it was like,
It was almost felt good in a weird way.
Well, I was going to say, I started saying, well, how's his family? How's George? How are, the people that
Right.
were closest to him? Caroline, the whole thing. We started talking about that. And he's like, nobody knows. Nobody's talking. This is the only info I have for you. And then, we got together the next day after work and we just kind of had a little meeting like, what are we going to do? And then we were like, no, you know what? We can still do this. We can still, because I remember George was like, we can't do anything right now until the dust settles. And
Yeah.
it may take months. It could take a year.
And we didn't have that time.
And we didn't have that kind of time because we'd already turned in our notice.
No.
Wow.
So that's what kind of forced us. And that's where you go back to, that road less traveled. We were forced by necessity to find a way to make it work. And we had no plan B. And it's pretty crazy that.
I did
That
almost
was-
buy a Subway franchise. I forgot to tell you that. But
Did you? No. Henry David Thoreau said every oak tree started out as a couple of nuts who
Oh.
stood their ground.
Big D says every oak tree is gray.
I mean, speaking of nuts, the Kane Brown vasectomy video went really well.
Brett Michaels said every rose has its thorn.
You guys ever gone to lunch with him? It's a weird, bizarre feeling.
No, because my life isn't yours.
It's weird. We're walking around. We got to this. We got to this.
He's always in character.
There was a
He's
lot of
always in
bitterness in that
character.
response.
He's always in character.
Yeah.
And we go to this like brew house or something, and it's just like kind of early-ish for lunch, like 11, and there was hardly anybody there. Pfft, dude, that guy.
Magnet.
Jeez, I mean a magnet.
Text messages must have been flying.
Brett Michaels from Poison
is here at the restaurant. Come on out.
And it was during that time in Nashville where it was like, it was all mainly country. And so to see like a rock icon like him in town, it was a big deal. You would hear rumors like, who heard's in town this week? Brett Michaels.
Now they all live here.
And now everyone lives here. That's right.
Hi, Vince Neil.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Kickstart my heart.
Didn't I take a picture? I was in a
Yes,
Mexican.
you did.
Yeah, I'm in a Mexican restaurant. There's pictures of like Dolly Parton, George Jones,
Just
Merle,
all these great legends.
country
Conway.
legends. And then I'm gonna go, who is that? I can't picture who that guy kindly. Didn't I send a picture to you, Carson?
Yes, you did.
I'm like, I think that is
You're
this
like, I think
that
that's
guy
him.
from the Poison
The Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
Yep.
And yeah, it was. I think
was.
I think he lives out there or something.
He does.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
He lives by me?
he lives here. Yeah, he's in. I think he's in Leapers Fork.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
not
further
too
out
far.
than
Yeah, it is further off, but but still.
That's,
on your
that's a
side.
little bit.
But, like,
we ain't
all-
running in the same
Yeah.
leagues there.
It's crazy because ever since those days, because that was like early 2000s, ever since then, like everybody from comedians to actors to magicians to musicians, everybody had moved to Nashville and the Nashville area because it's really good for their taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like being in LA without the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's it that said Nashville is like LA without the tan?
Oh, Boz Thurman.
No, I think it was like
Who's Boz Thurman?
Boz Lerman, you mean.
Who's that?
That's
Sunglass guy?
The sunglasses or sunscreen.
Yeah. You should wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
The guy who said that though is, come on, help me out. Come on. It's Count Nashville with a tan.
Da-da-da-da-da.
No, come
Was
on.
that like Randy Newman or something?
Dude, come on, y'all. It's
What
a
are you
huge.
talking about?
It's not even like we're talking about obscure hit.
No,
this is
I know
a
the
huge
song.
hit.
It's like with the tan. Yeah,
It's
it's spoken. Like it's a song, but he almost speaks it because he adds in the with a tan.
Sean Mullins' A Lullaby.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great song.
She grew up with the children of the stars. He always said that weird stars.
It came out the year I was born.
Sean Mullins?
How do you
It's
turn?
just
Lullaby?
fun.
What?
How do you turn his microphone off? Garrett's either one or two things. We're going to. No, never mind. I was going to say something like I can't say that anymore on broadcast. We're so used to saying stuff in
Actually,
here.
you can say it. You can say it here. Because
No, you
No, I
can't because it
can't.
lives
Oh.
indefinitely
Please
here.
do not.
I have learned
I've
something
learned.
that people are stupid when it comes to podcasts. They go, "Oh, I'm on a podcast. Oh, I can say anything I want." Yes, you can, except it will never disappear.
It'll never
I think
disappear.
it's safer sometimes to say
Uh-huh.
something on the air
Yeah.
live
As it flies by. It's gone.
because it's like, oh,
Ether.
that never happened. You can't do that in podcast world or video world or any of that
The other
stuff.
day, one time we got called in. They're like, "Hey, did you guys say blah 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 today on the air?" And we did. And I was like, I just played dumb. I'm like, man,
Why would
I
we
don't
do
remember. I don't think so. I don't sound like them we would do. I was like, yeah, no, we didn't do that. He goes, well, here's the tape where you said it. And they started playing it in front of
Yeah.
us. I'm like, y'all should lead with that. You're honestly, because that was dirty.
They did you wrong.
They really did.
Yeah. They wanted to see how you respond.
Well, you
Well,
always
we didn't
deny-
say
I would
no.
not deny.
We're just kind of like, yeah,
When I was in management, I'd have done the exact same thing. I'd have been like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you want to own it? Oh, hey, boop, play."
Bubba, you ever got called in and there's an FBI agent in the office?
No,
I
I do
have.
remember. Do you remember the Secret Service thing?
Oh, I've had that too.
We got in trouble because this is way back in the day, and we're going to tell you right now: never photocopy money. Not even as a
we
joke.
did. Yeah, we did.
Not even as a joke.
Secret Service showed up, man.
Yeah, we were making, and it's
And
so
it was
funny.
obviously
Okay.
a joke.
It was a total joke. It's like right when color laser printers first came out, and we're like, "This thing is the quality is great. I bet you could print money on it." And it was a joke, and we said, "Let's print some and put it in the vending machine at work and see if we get Cokes." And so literally, we faked the whole thing. We photocopied it, and then we went and fed real dollars in. Thank God we never tried it because literally. Get off the air. There's people in suits. Boys, come and talk to us. And they
Yep.
had the vending machine company come down and open the machine right then and there with all of us standing together because we denied it. We're like, no, it was faked. It was the whole thing. And they opened it up and it was real dollars in there. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for protecting us, Jesus. Because sometimes we're just stupid.
Thank you, Jesus, for protecting us from our own
It
stupidity.
sounded like Will Ferrell on Talladega Nights there.
Oh, dude. Now, I will say this: never, ever, 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 ever counterfeit. Don't ever. It's a bad
I
thing.
watched this guy. It's really bad. It's illegal.
yeah.
I watched this video. The guy he got convicted of counterfeiting, and part of his thing was he had to like do a video about it, a documentary, and they kind of went into details of how he did it. And what was the paper he used? He went through all kinds of different paper, and the one he ended up with, I can't remember.
Some kind of cloth.
It was you'd be like, oh, what, really? And then he was able to do the hologram stuff. He would take hologram stuff from like baseball cards and put it into it. He
Oh,
could do the
wow.
little strip. He could do watermarks. He could do all that.
Wow.
I'll say this: don't even Google how to do it because
Yeah.
it will incriminate you. It's that illegal that you don't mess with money.
You mean how I downloaded the Anarchist Cookbook when I was 17?
Did
Probably
you
wasn't a
what?
good idea.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Anybody,
wow.
nothing ever came of it? No, I didn't think so. I think by then
I'm sure there's a
everyone
file
had it.
somewhere though.
We
Let's follow
we
him
never
there.
had to download that because like all of when I was a kid, all of our friends' dads were all like vets, and they were all like, because we grew up in the swamp. Like, okay, here's how you make a pit with punji sticks and da 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 and all that kind of stuff, and they taught us stupid ways to protect your
Yeah,
property.
I mean, I was raised by a bunch of Vietnam vets, and they told all those stories. So the cookbook was basically just supplemental education.
You're right. Your dad was in Vietnam.
Supplemental. I
What was he
loved-
in?
Army.
Okay.
I love
66 through 67.
my baseball coach had one arm because he lost it in Vietnam, and he would had a nub, and he would put it. And it's okay to say nub because that's what he calls
No,
it.
that's what it is.
He would put his glove in the nub, and he would pitch like at practice. And he would go "Phoom," and throw the ball, and then immediately flip it and put his hand in.
What's the famous baseball
Jim
player?
Abbott.
Yeah, Jim
He
Abbott.
did like
Threw a
Jim
no,
Abbott,
yeah,
yeah.
threw no hitter.
That's what he would do. And I was like, man, as a kid, when you're like 10 to 12 years old, and you've got this guy with one arm throwing you BP, and he is
striking you
there
out?
striking you out,
Oh.
just balling.
That'll
and
motivate you.
It's much respect.
Have you seen the picture? He is able to pit, he can throw left or right. And batter came up who was also a switch hitter.
Yeah.
And when he went right, he went left.
Yeah, they
And when
kept switching back and
And he
forth.
went left, he went right. And finally, I think they just called it and said, hey, you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Well, I
The
thought
umpire was losing his mind.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, what are we
It went
doing
on for like, 4 or 5
okay, now,
sequences.
I thought whenever you come up to bat, let's say if you're a switch hitter, if you come up to bat as a lefty, you have to remain a lefty the
I
whole
did-
at bat.
That's what I thought, but it didn't. That's not what
Well,
happened.
didn't that guy also have a special glove so that he
he
could?
did. He could
yeah.
put it on either hand.
Mm-hmm.
It was
wow.
It was a uni glove.
Yeah, I mean,
A
that's what
a
it was.
uni-glove?
I mean, yeah.
Uniglove.
It was I said uni weird. Uni? Who says uni? It was a uni glove. Get out of here, Dean. Idiot. Anyway, congratulations, Joe.
Carson.
That's a big deal.
Oh yeah, that happened. I forgot it happened.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. So thank you to everybody who believed from the
Yeah.
beginning. Carson is going to continue making these friendship bracelets.
Yep.
Are you writing a word?
Yeah.
I mean,
What are you writing?
There's a guy on Instagram who posts anonymously about radio people, so I'm making a bracelet for him, and I'm going to try to entice him to out himself to me.
You know who he is?
No, I don't. So I'm going to tell him, I made you a friendship bracelet. You guys to come get it now. See? That's, yeah.
Can I pet your dog?
And what if I walked in?
That would be amazing. I would actually be thrilled if it was you.
I'm here for my friendship bracelet.
Yeah.
You just want to give it to me now?
I will say I've messaged with him back and forth privately, and he also has said nothing but positive things about.
I was just proud you guys went and hung out with Kenny Chesney the other day.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun little interview.
It was fun. That's going to air later, but he's got a new album coming out. Yeah. He's excited about
Really
it.
good album. It's so bad because I didn't realize they sent it to us ahead of time. So I told him, I'm like, I haven't even gotten to listen to it yet. He goes, you haven't listened to it yet?
And they looked at you.
And they looked at me like I
you
was
had
the
10
devil.
heads.
I know. And,
To be
D's-
fair, they only sent us a couple of songs.
and Big D's like, I've listened to it and it's great. It's
Yeah,
rocking.
He
It's awesome.
totally
It's this
sold
and
you
that.
out. It was great.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
good
yeah,
stuff.
okay.
That's what you do, man.
Well, it's you and you both are like, check your email, Bubba.
Yeah. Check your email.
I never check
Yeah,
my
I'm
email.
working on you actually getting you a company email. I have to go through a couple hoops to do that. But
I
yeah,
don't
I'm gonna
know
get
if I
you a
want
couple-
one now.
No,
I know I told you I
were
wanted
getting
one.
Yes, you told me to get you one.
No, I said I was
Go ahead.
considering
No.
it.
Go ahead
that
with
is
it.
not
Whether
what
he
you
uses
said.
it or not, we'll make sure he
no.
has one.
You said go ahead and do it because I'm losing my emails, and I went. Finally, common sense has prevailed.
I have 16,460
Oh,
unread
my
emails
God.
right now.
You have 16,000 emails
Why?
unread?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I only have 20 on my main screen. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and you use that for like everything, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, that's the ugh. No, separate your life, man. Compartmentalize.
I'm going to get
Ugh.
around to it one day.
You know, use the AOL account from time to time. Okay.
So, you know what's bad is that I forgot to do my cleanse. I usually do a purge at the beginning of the year.
We're still talking email, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Every New Year's, I always do any unread messages that I don't have, I just delete and I start over every year. I didn't do it this year. For the first time in probably a decade, I did not reset my email to 0. And now, do I have to wait until next New Year, or can I just do it right now? And
No.
just
If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
That's right.
So
Yeah, that's it.
go ahead,
Yeah.
sir.
okay.
You know.
None of us can be big mad if you hit delete on 16,000 emails.
Did you say big mad?
Yeah.
I mean, the divorce is already settled, so it couldn't be that important emails that you have.
That's true.
He has probably emails from her going, "Hey, we need to talk."
You're right.
He never read it.
And that's why I'm divorced.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. I won't get that button. Da-da-da-da-da.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay, because you can listen to the regular show on the radio every day. It was the podcast.